Sport mode is a beast. Holy. What's up, guys? I just recently joined a motovlog forum. It's been pretty interesting. A lot more rules on there than I thought that there would be. Most of them make pretty good sense. You don't want just a bunch of garbage on there, but some of them you're like, what the heck, man? But oh well, such as life. Look at this dude. Large dude on probably a tiny Sportster. Good for him. Anyhow, I thought maybe I would try participating in one of these competitions. Grumpy Bear competition for July. I think that's what it's called. So, to follow the rules, shout out to Viper13501350. I think that's his, if I'm remembering correctly, I think that's the dude who won the competition last month for June. So good for you, pal. Way to go. Watch your video. This particular challenge is, what is the worst thing that's happened to you while motorcycling by nature? That's an interesting one, because most of the time, see a little sporty dude, well, very large dude on a little sporty. Anyway, so most of the time, I'm sure people figure that's got to be an accident of some sort, and so that was good that there's a clarification, like no rain-related accidents. Yeah, and it's kind of would be interesting to hear more stories, I think, about non-accident related things potentially, because lots of accidents get kind of, I don't know, that's rough to think about and to keep hearing about. By the way, we're hitting a cool little road here that goes to a neighboring little, really I would consider it more of a village than a town or anything, called Judson. This is called the Bottom Road, right by the river. Really cool. Really cool little road, pretty low key. A lot of motorcyclists ride out here quite a bit. You can see them. Gorgeous day out today. Totally awesome. Figured I had to get some riding in before it gets up in the 90s next week. Anyhow, a video about something bad that happened involving nature while on motorcycle. So, one thing that came to mind right away, I've had a couple of instances with bees. I've had a few weird instances in life with bees. So I thought, why not talk about that? So first I'll start with a story that is not motorcycle related. When I was a kid, my cousin and I got attacked by an entire hive of, I don't even know if it was wasps or hornets, but like it was a giant. We were walking through the woods. There was like a big like a bowl that somebody dug out in this woods area, and there was a rope, and obviously like you could grab the rope and then you just like swing, see if you can swing from one side of the hole to the other while you're swinging from the rope. But when I was a kid, there was all this like talk about it was like a dead man's hole, and like a guy hung himself from that rope, and the rope eventually broke and he fell in that hole and he was dead, and whatever. So it was one of those things that as a child you were like kind of freaked out, but you wanted to go there and try to look at it. Was it really scary or what was it? So my cousin and I go to this dead man's hole, and we're scoping it out, and we are just walking through the woods, and yeah, it's scary and freaky, but we end up playing around with the rope and it's fine. And then all of a sudden these bees started swarming us, and I remember very vividly seeing a giant hive hanging in a tree, and like they were all pissed. All of them were pissed off. So this was the city that I'm in and or grew up in, there's areas where there's still woods, like in town, in city. It's not a super huge city. And so we were in the woods, but it was still in town, and so equivalent of probably like 10, 12 blocks from where I lived. So we started booking it out of the woods and back down through it. You had to go like cut through somebody's yard. These bees followed us the whole way home. In fact, they followed us all the way to my house, and my mom and my aunt was there. They wouldn't even let us in the house because there were so many bees still swarming us and just stinging the shit out of us big time. It was ridiculous. I had to be maybe 8, 9 years old, and so she would have been like 7, something like that. Just crazy. So that was one shitty story with bees, and I've just had weird cases with bees ever since. Just every once in a while. At one point, they almost were worried I was allergic to them, because I had a major reaction once, also when I was a kid, in a totally different related bee sting situation. But I don't think that I am. I hadn't been stung for years until just this year, like literally maybe a month ago. I got stung right on my hand. I went to open the door to get in my back door of my house, and there must have been a bee like right on the door or whatever, and got pissed and stung my hand. God, it definitely hurt more than I remembered, but it wasn't, anything major. Whoa, look at this dude. What is it? Dude's got a little cart. So, anyhow, fast forward from 8, 9 years old. I got my first street bike. It was a 1980 Yamaha 400 Special. This thing was pretty cool. I got that at like, 13, 14 years old. It was pretty cool also because it was a 1980, which is the year I was born. So, when you're that young, you think like, that's pretty damn cool. So I'm riding that thing out in these county roads. My dad was pretty relaxed about, he lived out in the country at the time, and it's like, well, just take it easy and ride these county roads and stuff, and don't do anything stupid. If a cop somehow does pull you over, just be truthful and head back home. So, which I never did get pulled over, but anyway, one nice beautiful day such as this, I was riding. In those days, I didn't even have a leather jacket at that time. I probably had some leather gloves. I just wore like a quarter shell helmet, or three-quarter shell helmet, and then there was just a face shield that went down and snapped across the top. It was maroon, sparkle, metal flake maroon, three-quarter shell. And I was cruising down this county road feeling like I was an ultra boss on my street bike, probably 14, 15 years old, and just loving my life. And then all of a sudden, bam, something hit me right in the neck. Boom. It was like the most painful thing. I still remember it now, and it's like, like I got slammed in the neck by something. Luckily, I had already had enough experience, and somehow I'm one of these people that the more tense a situation gets, usually I get more calm. I can stay fairly calm and composed, and it just been that way, whatever, since I was a kid. What up, dude? Anyhow, I was able to keep my composure at that age, and still I was wincing in my helmet and just like, oh God, tensed up. But I stayed calm, and I slowed down, just relaxed. I let off the throttle, slowed down, pulled off to the side of the road. In the rear view, this fucking thing was lodged in my neck. Like, I had to tug on this thing, and it pulled the skin I could feel my skin pulling, you know, and the thing was still kind of alive, but lodged into, like, it had broken the skin and lodged into my fucking neck and stung me. And fuck. It's like, now when I think about it, it gives me the heebie-jeebies big time. But at that time, I don't know, I was just like, I just had to, kept my composure, and I fucking pulled it out and whipped it on the ground. I looked in the thing and I made sure, you know, there wasn't pieces of it still stuck in my neck, and I was fucking bleeding, and I just, I kept cruising. I kept fucking cruising, because motorcycling was more fun. And went back later, and my dad was like, what the fuck happened to you, you know? So I was just bleeding all down my neck and into my shirt. It was ridiculous. So that was a pretty shitty thing that happened while on motorcycle, and I would consider that something involving nature. That sucked. That sucked big time. There was another time, I'll just tell you this quick as well. There was another time I was coming home. I went for like a 3-day trip. I rode up into Canada and stayed a couple days and just rode around in Canada. I was just by myself on motorcycle and rode up there and rode around and rode home. And I stopped at a gas station getting fuel, and I left my helmet out hanging from the helmet hook. It had a hook under the seat. Let it hanging on the bike, went in, got something to drink, whatever, took a piss, I don't know. Anyways, came back out, put my helmet on, hit the road, and I'm on the road, and I feel something moving in my helmet, in my hair, crawling around on my head. And this is in my, like, mid-20s, and I will tell you, I got a little more jitterish or whatever. I was a little more freaked even in my 20s, and I slightly less composed then, even than when I was a young kid with the first story. But yeah, I was kind of started freaking out. Like, I started shaking my head around, trying to figure out what the hell. And so then I just pulled over, man. I pulled over on the side of the road and lifted my helmet off my head. And there it was, a big fucking wasp. Flew right out of my helmet. I was lucky that one didn't sting me, but there was another fucking bee inside my helmet, man, hanging out. I don't know, what the hell. Freaking bees, man. Freaking bees. So yeah, there's my story. Well, there's more than one story, obviously, but hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was fun. Hope you guys don't deal with any freaking bees, because bees suck. Goddamn bees. One more story. When I moved into my house, not even kidding you, like a month after I moved into my house, I saw a giant fucking bee, and I had never seen these before. I was freaked the hell out. I had no idea what this was. I'm not kidding you. The bee was like this fucking big, like humongous. It like, I think it eats other insects and bees and shit. I remember when I finally killed one, I put it on a table. I don't know if I'll be able to find this picture. If I can, I took a picture with a cell phone. I will put it in this video. I looked into it, and it turns out they burrow into the ground. So I had these ground bees that were living in the ground, in the dirt, right by my garage foundation. I was freaking out like this is some goddamn gigantic killer bee, and I'm fucked. Bees are now gonna kill me. I'm now gonna die from bees, because bees hate me in life, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so I looked it up. Turns out that particular bee, this giant bee, was not really dangerous to humans. They don't typically sting you, and they just live in the ground, and they eat other insects mostly. But I killed the shit out of all of them anyway, because they're just goddamn creepy. A giant bee. I don't know, if you've seen giant bees, or if you have other stories about bees, go ahead and put it in the comments, man. We will talk about it. freaking bees. Goddamn bees. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. You can check me out on Instagram if you want, 2-Wheel Ton. I'm not super active on there. I haven't been recently, but I'll try to be more so. Anyhow, thanks again, guys. You guys are great. Motorlog.com. You guys are pretty cool. I'm enjoying getting to know people. I'll catch you guys later.